What is up, everyone? Korin O'Keefe back yet again, and as the title implies, I'm bringing you another collab death battle prediction, folks. And today I got a bunch of badasses joining me. We got Captain Forrest in the house.
Hey everyone, Captain Forrest here.
We have Lord Kira.
Yo, what's up?
We got Rachel.
What's up?
We got Instinct.
Yo, what up?
And we even have Debater himself.
What's up?
And yeah, we're bringing you a collab death battle prediction for the next death battle, obviously. It's going to be Kool-Aid Man versus the Macho Man, Randy Savage. So, without further ado, Kira is going to go over some stuff for Kool-Aid Man. Rachel will give some stuff for Kool-Aid Man. I'll give a little bit of stuff for the Macho Man. Others will come in, give some stuff for both sides, give their overall thoughts. We'll have a discussion, have a fun freaking time. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over to Kira.
Yo, what's up? It's Kira, and I'm going to be handling Kool-Aid Man. So now, first thing that we're going to talk about Kool-Aid Man, it's just some basic stuff that we see from the commercials. Now, we know from the Kool-Aid Man and his commercials that in one scene that just by him existing, like, created a portal. And now he can also use his portal to if he wanted to BFR, or either just come in at any time where he wants, or just to either teleport himself from place to place. Now, and now we also have like many things that also come from the Kool-Aid Man commercials as well. Like he has age manip himself just by drinking Kool-Aid. Just by you drinking Kool-Aid, it can cause you to grow beards. It can literally cause you to become young again. It can cause you to even grow old as well. And that's just one thing as well. He also has biological manipulation as well. Just by again drinking Kool-Aid can make your eyes grow bigger, make you have a face on top of your eyes. Just some just like some weird shit too as well. And also to go on top of that as well, he has telekinesis as well. Just by him just using his telekinesis like to make all the kids have Kool-Aid and having it different flavors as well. And speaking of Kool-Aid as himself, Kool-Aid Man is the actual embodiment of Kool-Aid himself. The actual embodiment. So as long as there's still Kool-Aid, he will still be around. Even if you were to let's say for an example, probably destroy the glass of Kool-Aid Man, he's still gonna be there just because of Kool-Aid is still on the ground. And then even with Kool-Aid on the ground, he can even survive by there even being a little drip of Kool-Aid, a little Kool-Aid himself. But by him doing this as well, he can also summon many Kool-Aid Mans as well, which will mean there will be more Kool-Aid Mans that will be on the battlefield as well. And now this stuff right here is coming from the comics as well with the Thirsties, but the Thirsties themselves in the comics can literally cause volcanic eruptions on Hawaii, and Kool-Aid Man is easily able to slap them around with even by them causing these volcanic eruptions as well. Another thing too, as well, also from the commercials as well for Kool-Aid Man, he can actually become the actual planet itself, the actual planet Earth himself. There's that as well. And then even by him running also from the commercials as well, he was able to even destroy the sun in itself as well. More stuff from the commercials as well is him being able to defeat opponents who have fourth wall manip and can also use the fourth wall himself. Also with the commercials as well, he can use Kool-Aid, make people drink Kool-Aid to even neg their emotions, like even changing their whole ideology in themselves. So basically, if someone is like this big grumpy, like this big grumpy dude, he can just give him a glass of Kool-Aid, and then it's gonna change them from them being into this grumpy person into being something very positive as well. Kool-Aid Man also has some interesting hacks as well, to which him himself can exist in a 2D playing field while he's still 3D, and it can be in the other range as well. Kool-Aid Man also in the commercials as well has even outskilled a boxer himself, like an actual trained boxer. It was actually able to like outbox this boxer and able to dodge all of his attacks as well, and overall having more skill than this boxer. Another thing too, as well, with the Kool-Aid commercials himself, is that Kool-Aid Man can also create his own pocket dimensions in his own right, like literally creating pocket dimensions just by him like jumping from billboard to billboard, and in that billboard, it's its own dimension in itself, in which he can also BFR people, grab them, and BFR them into that playing field as well. Also, with the Kool-Aid Man as well, he actually exists. He actually exists within the Warner within the Warner Bros. Community, which also means that he knows Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd in himself, and the Kool-Aid from over there was able. It's like after Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd was drinking Kool-Aid, it caused them to go insane and basically like trying to neg each other, or mainly Bugs Bunny like negging Elmer Fudd just for Kool-Aid himself. So just by drinking Kool-Aid can literally cause someone to go insane and do whatever it takes just for them just to have more Kool-Aid. Another thing too as well is that Kool-Aid Man also has creation as well, to where basically he can have like a little small pill, drop it into Kool-Aid, and it has like many different creatures, like unknown creatures, like extraterrestrial creatures in its own right as well, and also creating them like their own like little world as well. Overall for Kool-Aid Man, he has some really good shit. He can destroy stars. He can literally become the planet himself. He can also with speed alone, he can like travel from continent to continent as well in seconds. And then also as well, he was able to like beat the Thirsties, who can cause volcanic eruptions on Hawaii. So that's pretty badass in his own right. So overall, that's it for Kool-Aid Man. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Korin so he can give his thoughts.
All right. So talking about Macho Man, we all know him. He's a legend in professional wrestling. He's, he represented Slim Jims for a decent amount of time. And overall, he's a badass. So starting off, speaking of these Slim Jims, right, starting with those, in these commercials, these Slim Jim commercials, right, just from biting into a Slim Jim, he can make stuff explode or like combust like very easily. Like, for example, one of the commercials, he walked into like a restaurant and he was like talking to this old lady, stuff was going on, and all of a sudden he bit into a Slim Jim and made the stuff behind her combust into flames. And now, even more impressive, another commercial that he was in with the Slim Jims, he showcased weather manipulation when he bit into these Slim Jims. For example, the first bite he took literally caused a lightning bolt to come from the clouds and strike like trees and the ground and stuff. So right off the bat, right there, he can like manipulate lightning, weather. He would have massively hypersonic attack speed with that lightning naturally as well, going off that. And then the next bite he takes, he starts making like dust clouds come up and happen. And he's like makes like bulls starts to like stampede. And then another bite he takes in this same commercial, he literally causes a huge tornado, like this big ass tornado, this big storm. And he's like, nature, ain't it grand? And it's definitely grand. So right off the bat, good weather manipulation hacks, decent attack speed, decent hacks, decent stuff, and even like attack potency with like the Slim Jims alone. Because like you can get some decent calculations for like conjuring and like creating storms like that are like large tornadoes. Now they vary, but you can get some stuff like the town ranges from it. You can even get up to even far higher, depending on how you go about it, to even like the country ranges. So it's not bad. Now also in these Slim Jim commercials, we see him physically bust through like large stone structures. We see him like rip off metal locker doors very casually, bust through like walls, stuff like that, like solid, like concrete type of stuff. So like even without like the Slim Jim hacks and the potency of that I've named off, it's like he himself is casually, physically like busting through walls, stuff like that, on even like a lower scale, you could say, just like a low end, for example. So very easy, very easily, very casual. So we move on to like other stuff. Macho Man in his wrestling days, oh baby. Now he's had some legendary matches, right? He's went up against some of the greats. He's wrestled Hogan. Hogan has good feats like scoop slamming a weakened Andre the Giant. Still very impressive because even while weakened, this Andre the Giant was still like a freaking massive giant man and had pretty good feats in his own right, even while weakened. And now Macho Man is obviously a little weaker than like Hogan and them, but he would obviously be in that ballpark because he can contend with guys like that, wrestle them, getting like power grips with them, you know. And speaking of like that, we also know you could potentially, I don't know if they're going to do this, but there's like some comics that, again, I don't know for sure if they're going to bring up, but there's like some feats from Undertaker and other wrestlers that could be interpreted as like universal level. Like in the comics, Undertaker has like universal levels of power consistently implied. He has like certain objects and items and artifacts that can, you know, threaten universes and what have you. And obviously like immortal Hulk Hogan, guys like that, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, The Rock, all those guys, they can at least, you know, trade blows. They go back and forth. They're not necessarily like one-shotting each other, if you know what I'm saying. So if you do go with like that scaling, you could probably downscale and argue down, like Macho Man downscales, not necessarily, maybe not upscale, but like downscale though to some degree, since he wouldn't be like infinitely weaker than like those guys. He would just be like a lesser tier, a lesser degree of that tier. And we also have other stuff, like his wrestling background gives him a pretty decent range of skill. You know, grappling, you know, you can argue some judo in there, some extreme crafty stuff, honestly. High flying stuff, rear naked chokes, all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, overall, Macho Man is a legit badass in his own right. God rest his soul. He's a legend in wrestling. He's a legend to all of us. And yeah, with that being said, that pretty much sums up and gives you the gist on the Macho Man himself. Oh, and speed, to touch up on that briefly. Again, even on, like I mentioned earlier, right, he can have lightning fast attack speed because he can like summon lightning bolts. So that's like massively hypersonic attack speed. He can keep up with other wrestlers who, again, if you use like comics or like their lore and stuff, you can have like lightning time feats for that, light speed stuff, even MFTL stuff if you go off certain things. And even without that, he'd have like superhuman speeds, supersonic speeds, again on the lowest of low ends, which he's obviously higher, but even like a low end, again, like wall level, casually, supersonic, you know, for his physical stuff, probably way higher, you know. Then you have like his hacks, you have like the Slim Jim stuff, he can like make stuff combust. You have his like weather manipulation, conjuring freaking hurricanes and storms and tornadoes. He's a tactical wrestler. You know, he has literally plenty of experience at grappling in that background, in that regard. And he's overall just a badass. Oh, yeah, and the Slim Jims can also perform some type of, you know, emotional manip. They can like kind of manipulate the emotions of others too, make them happier, stuff like that, if they're down in the dumps. So not bad, not bad. That out of the way, I'm going to pass the mic over to Forrest Green here, Captain Forrest. Let him give his thoughts on who he thinks is going to take victory more often than not.
Okay, so looking at both combatants now, I don't know a whole lot about Macho Man, even though Korin has given a pretty nice detailed explanation of Macho Man's stats and abilities. He has some impressive feats of his own in terms of AP, speed, some hacks. Same thing with Kool-Aid Man. I know a little bit, just a tiny bit, not too much, but I do know a little bit about like Kool-Aid Man. I wanted to bring this up. There was a statement as well in the comic. One of the Marvel humans state this, that Kool-Aid Man, in terms of like AP, like this would probably be a high end, perhaps, depending on how you interpret scaling. Is comparable to the Hulk, so this would be like classic Hulk, like back in the classic days, which is actually pretty impressive, especially going off the statement that Kurai mentioned as well, which is pretty impressive. If you use like both characters like at their peak, you know, terms like, you know, Universal or Uni Plus, or however you scale it, it's pretty interesting. Kool-Aid Man has a ton of hacks of his own, good resistances too, so definitely help him in the fight. I'm not 100% like sure who'd win per se, but I would like lean more so to like Kool-Aid Man, just like looking at like overall impressive like resistances and hacks and stuff. If it was like Deathbattle, I think they may, depending on, you know, in terms of like and like more of a subjective point of view, they may lean more so to like, you know, Macho Man, I guess, just to pay respects. They could do that too, or they might lean more so to Kool-Aid Man, depending on who they have as researchers. So it literally just depends on, you know, like they may look at things from a logical aspect, but they do tend to like sometimes be a little bit subjective in some of their reasonings. But like that's just like my like thoughts, at least going into it. But personally, I'm rooting more so for like Kool-Aid Man, because just what I've seen in terms of like stats, and just you know, my favorite character, of course. But yeah, those are my thoughts overall. If anyone else would like to chip in, they're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I can like talk a little bit more here. So yeah, I also got Kool-Aid Man taking this. I don't know they're like exactly what they're gonna use, but from what we have right here, like in this prediction, I'm gonna go with Kool-Aid Man. Got a bunch of like, they both got like ridiculous hacks that are just wacky as fuck, so they can like counter some of their shit. But like I feel like Kool-Aid Man got some of the wackier shit. What was the speed for both of these guys? Like, so anyone got like, I know.
Macho Man,
Kool-Aid
I
Man.
mentioned he ranges from like anywhere from supersonic, light speed to even MFTO plus, depending on how you go about it. And he also has at least like lightning fast attack speed, because he can like summon lightning bolts too. So that's like attack speed right there, master hypersonic casual.
Okay. What was Kool-Aid Man's speed again?
And then for Kool-Aid Man was able to travel to continent to continent in seconds.
I would just say, depending on what they use, I might edge out with Kool-Aid, feel like AP and shit. But like, I don't know exactly like the like, I don't know, maybe they find some other like speed shit that we don't know about, or maybe they found like some wacky hacks we don't know about. But yeah, for my take, I would say Kool-Aid Man via some hacks and AP.
All right, Instinct, you're up.
All right, so I heard both in Korin's interpretation and Kira's interpretation for like both sides. And as far as who win, I would actually have to lean towards Kool-Aid Man in this one, because like the superior hacks and maybe AP, the speed. I don't know about the speed, but I know they both have some ridiculous hacks. Like it's really wacky for both sides, honestly. But in this regard, in this battle, I'm gonna have to side with Kool-Aid Man more often than not.
All right, Kira, I want to give your final thoughts.
Yes. For my final thoughts on this, I also do have Kool-Aid Man also winning this too as well, just because of the AP, just because like the AP and the AP advantage, and also with the loads of hacks that Kool-Aid Man does have. I think that I forgot to mention was about like Kool-Aid Man's like heat resistances too as well, because of the thirsties themselves are like is like literal heat itself. That's what they're made of, is literal heat, and Kool-Aid Man himself can literally like fight them and be next to them and still like have resistances to it. There was even one commercial too as well, to where he ate some spicy salsa and then he drank Kool-Aid just to neg the heat. So there is that as well. For speed, I am gonna give it to Macho, just because for having the speed advantage. But overall, I just think Kool-Aid's AP hacks and just everything else overall is just gonna get the upper hand on Macho. So that's my thoughts.
All right, right on. And I guess for my final thoughts, this is definitely, even though, yeah, it's one of those kind of battles where it's kind of like a so to speak joke battle. It's like kind of, but they're still gonna like have feats involved. It's still gonna be like a battle, a death battle. I'm not sure how the ending's gonna be. Like if it's gonna be like Deadpool and Pinkie Pie type of stuff, or a Sega guy versus Chuck Norris kind of ending. I don't know. I mean, looking at it from the feats, right, and who will more likely win, it is kind of difficult to say inherently for me, because they both do have ranges, like multiple ranges, where one could be above the other, one could be below the other, or vice versa. And they both have a lot of crazy stuff to work with. Heck, I'm sure there's even some stuff out there that, get mentioned in the video that some maybe haven't even seen in years, or, it's just so far underground, or some old ass commercial we may have missed, or something that's like, so, but going off what we've mentioned in here, it's a good amount. And if they do like find a way to scale Macho Man to like the universal interpretations, then he may have AP. But again, I don't see him inherently scaling to that. And if he would, it'd downscale. But there's also like the Kool-Aid arguments too, to get him, to similar levels or higher than, freaking Macho Man. I almost said Molecule Man, but no, Macho Man. And yeah, and obviously we know like walls in Marvel are like high hyperversal, because like a single atom's like complexed, infinitely large. So they might just give him high hyper for busting a wall. So who knows? I just think this is going to be a fun match. I could see either side having arguments being made here to take victory. So overall, just a fun time. I don't disagree with what the others say about Kool-Aid Man, why they think he would win, but I can see stuff being made for Macho Man too. So right now I'm like 50-50 myself, but I'm looking forward to a good time. Anyone else have any other thoughts they want to give? Well, I guess that's all she wrote. Hope y'all enjoyed this video for what it actually was. Go subscribe to all these badasses. Everybody say peace.
Peace. Subscribe to Lord here, right? And I fucked your mom.